tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question? Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question? Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice.
We're the one you way up, we are so glad you're here. Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. They're the pros from the dealer's floor, with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question? Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Ooh, Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice.
So good. Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. They're the pros from the dealer's floor, with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make our shopping extra nice. Got a question? Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make our shopping extra nice. Think of Porsche on every day. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make our shopping extra nice. We are so glad you're here. Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. The pros from the dealer's floor, with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question? Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supply. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. They're the pros from the dealer's floor, with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question? Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question? Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice.
Where's the one you way up? We are so glad you're here. Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. They're the pros from the dealer's floor, with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question? Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice.
Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. They're the pros from the dealer's floor, with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question? Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair.
I hope so. If they can hear both of us, we're good. We're in good shape.
Well, 2024 is out and 2025 is here. Happy New Year. First episode of 2025. Welcome to Mohawk Table Talk, where we are giving you the tips and tricks of buying vehicles, what's going on in the automotive realm, and how it affects you, our local buyer.
Absolutely.
Mohawk Auto.
And it's January 7th, so we're just about a week into the new year. And if you joined us last week, which was the last day of the year, last week, we had Jeff Harridan, president and owner of Mohawk Honda, on to reflect on the last 25 years, or at least 25 years ago at Mohawk Honda. And we've rung in the new year with him and the rest of the team here, and we're look forward to what's happening in 2025.
Absolutely. From new vehicles to possibly downfalls of others. We're going to talk about that in
This-
just a moment.
We have a lot to talk about. But before we get to that, we were talking for the last, 2-3 months about the season of giving,
Yes.
which at Mohawk Auto Group, that continues even though the holidays are technically over, I guess, technically. But season of giving is year round for us. And as far as Mohawk Auto Group goes, it's not just dollars. It is dollars, but it's also time invested. We're giving back to the community all the time, and we're going to continue that into 2025. And Nate has some details on that. And just yesterday,
Yeah.
there was a big deal that we had at Honda with a
Oh,
giveaway.
Yeah. So if you missed it, we did go live. We talked about the Camaro giveaway that we've been talking about for
Ever.
a few weeks now. January 6th, which was yesterday, we announced the winner. So congratulations to the winner. He will actually be in. His name is Richard, I believe.
Okay.
Will be in later today to pick up his winnings.
All right.
The brand new.
It's new to him.
Yeah.
It's new to him.
The brand new owned, brand used owned 2000 Camaro. So congratulations to him.
Wow. And there were some unbelievable amount of contributions, raffle tickets sold. So thank you to
Sold
everybody.
1,000
tickets.
raffle tickets. So thank you to everybody that participated in that. But we don't stop there, right? We're continuously looking for opportunities to be a part of the community, not just monetarily, but boots on the ground and volunteer. So step one, if you are a local nonprofit that has opportunities to volunteer, we'd love to hear about it. See if we can be a part of it. But we are being a part of Schenectady Shares campaign, which actually starts today, January 7th, and will go until February 15th, 2025. Have you gotten used to saying 2025 yet, or are you still saying 2025?
I wrote it wrong a couple times, but we're getting there.
So their aim is to raise $30,000 and collect 30,000 pounds of food and hygiene products. So that's a big goal.
Mhm.
But with the help of the community, we can definitely get there. So we are looking for vegetable soups, meats, and canned goods,
Mhm.
dry foods such as
Sure.
due to funding and all of that fun stuff. We will put the link in the description. You can have that as well. But join in with the Mohawk Auto Group. Bring in those products to help.
Absolutely. It's so important that I know it is to me. I know it is to Nate and the whole Mohawk Auto Group that we continue to give back. It's not just in the holiday season; all year round, there are folks that are in need, and we certainly want to contribute to that. So please click that link that's in the notes, and please do what you can.
Absolutely. And if you are hopping on here or you're listening to the podcast or watching the replay, please feel free to throw in your comments. We'd love to get to them. We haven't gotten any yet, but I know we will. I know we will get some comments. We will get some questions we would love to answer for you if you are a prospective buyer or maybe friends with you that might have questions. We want to answer them here on the show so that we can help everybody become a more informed buyer. Informed buyers are actually better buyers. Believe it or not, helps us.
Absolutely. I'd like to, since we're at that point, right? 2024, we're past that about a week ago. Let's at least put a, let's at
Even
least,
though it's 2025, we must reflect back on 2024 so that we can get better in 2025.
Exactly.
See what's coming up because there's a lot of stuff.
So I'll try to put a bow on it with some of the stats here that I have that Nate loves when I rattle off this stuff. I got to have it.
Sometimes I don't understand them, but I love the stats.
So all of the growth that especially Mohawk Honda and Mohawk Chevrolet experienced this year was not necessarily growth for us, but growth for the community and for our customers. So, for example, Greg, the general manager, shared in the meeting yesterday with the entire staff that there was a 10% increase in service repair orders in 2024 over 2023, which means we helped 10% more people keep their vehicles running safely on the road, parts and service, and so that was super important. Also, the collision center, Mohawk Collision Center, had a record year, which means they were able to get more vehicles repaired for you, for the community, and for our customers, and get them back on the road safely and repaired properly. So that's awesome. And of course, sales, right? Sales are back. We've been talking the last couple of weeks about the market and how volume selling and buying has returned, which is certainly a positive for anybody interested that might have held off during those COVID years, where during those years, it was tough to tell. Should I buy a car? Should I not? What's going on? Everything seems crazy. So the nice thing is that there's been some return to normality, especially in the second half of 2024. And I'll just give you some of the stats overall. So at first glance, the industry experts, that's nationwide, all new vehicles, say that the annual sales are going to total about 16.65 million new cars sold. That's all makes and models, of course. 16.65 million new cars. And that's an increase of 2% over the last year, and we expect to see that go up even from there.
It almost makes you wonder, like, where do all these cars go at the end? They just,
That's true. It's
out there in the ethos.
It's almost like I have a stat to back that up in a second.
Snap.
No, and let me just tell you where. That's right. Let me just tell you where Honda landed with that. Honda landed at just about 1.3 million out of those 16.6 million. 1.3 million new Hondas sold, which was good for number one in the market share in our area. It's about 8%. Yeah, 7.8%. Yep. However, it does look like in the preliminary numbers, still to be counted, but it looks like General Motors, which includes, of course, Chevy that Mohawk Chevrolet represents, will be the number one auto manufacturer in terms of new vehicles sold in the U.S. in 2024. So congratulations to everybody. And absolutely. It was stupendous. The good news also is I don't have the specific stats on certified pre-owned all nationwide. Reason being is because everybody reports theirs a little bit differently, all the manufacturers. But certified pre-owned, that's right. But certified pre-owned has a huge increase, almost 15% year over year, which means people that are looking for a vehicle, if they're not buying new, they're buying next to new. So that certified pre-owned is super important.
I like that.
All right.
That's a new marketing term. Next to new.
Almost.
Next to new.
Pre-loved, pre-owned, something like that. That's right. That's right. That's right. Let me give you one of the stats to answer Nate's statement question, maybe about where do all these cars go. Well, the answer is they're still on the road. Here, let me tell you a quick stat here. We were reflecting last week back on the year 2000, of course, because it was 25 years ago. Let me give you some stats based on what the national. That's right. I certainly have. Uh, so let's compare the year 2000 to current day in terms of how many vehicles are on the road, registered on the road, right? Because the government can track that. So based on their numbers, in the year 2000, 25 years ago, there were 282.4 million cars on the road. Now, that's a lot of cars, especially considering how many adults there are in the US. That's a lot of cars. So 282 million in the year 2000. Now, fast forward to today, 2025, the current estimates are 296.6 million vehicles on the road, which is an increase of almost 15 million cars on the road today compared to 25 years ago. So that's the answer. Nate asked a second ago, where are all these cars? They're still there.
They're still running.
Exactly. They're
Whether
still.
they're modified or hand me down.
That's right. That's right. Unfortunately, we lose a bunch of vehicles every year due to just old age, collisions, and a whole bunch of other things. So, and all that kind of stuff. So that's
I
that.
don't know why. It makes me think of like Scrooge. Scrooge surplus population. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Nate's still thinking about the holiday season, right? Exactly.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll
And
keep rolling.
one last stat from last year, because we talk about it just about every episode, is the prominence of electric vehicles in the market. We
Yeah.
certainly have a lot to talk about going
Huge
forward.
topic. Everyone thinks. And when he first came out, you're like, this is.
That's right.
No,
Didn't you hear people say that? They said,
Oh.
"Oh, this isn't going to
No,
last."
yeah, that was the number one thing. Is like, there's not gonna happen. This is gonna cost too much. They're not gonna want to do this. Blah 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 blah.
But they're here,
It's
and
there.
they're here to stay. They're here to stay. So last
Turns
year,
out we still want them.
exactly. And 2024 is proof of that. 2024, it looks like the total for EV sales is going to be about 1.3 million just new EVs sold in the country,
Wow.
which by far is the highest amount. That's good for 8% market share.
8% market share.
And the forecast from all the experts is we look to see that in the 9 to 10% range just next year, or this year, I should say, in 2025. So there's more. They're here to stay. There's a lot of reasons for that, and we'll get into that in a few minutes. But that's kind of a wrap on 2024. Inside the industry, it was a very successful year. If you're one of the folks who got a new car, it was successful for you too. Absolutely. And there's a lot to look forward to in 2025. But some stuff's changing.
Lots of
Hit
stuff
the folks with it.
Lots of stuff is changing. You've probably heard about the Honda-Nissan merger. We've heard different water cooler talk, maybe, about.
Social media. Isn't the social media the new water cooler?
Oh, of course.
Oh.
You've probably heard it around the ethos of, whatever water cooler you stand around, whether it's on X, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all
That's
those
right.
fun places, TikTok. But with a new vehicle coming out, which we just found out is probably dropping in about an hour and a half, right now the time of what? Well, 1 o'clock on.
Well, it's 1:30 Pacific. So we heard from our writers over there that are behind the camera. That's right. He was just dubbed a writer. He doesn't know it yet, but he's feeding us content.
But this is apparently, I don't know, I've missed it, but apparently Sony and Honda are dropping a collab together, the Afeela, which is wild. I don't even know if I'm saying it.
I don't either. Let's go to the jury.
Oh, Afeela, is that what it's called? Yeah, Afeela. The
So.
Afeela EV. Pre-orders and prices are premium with extras on me. I can't wait to see what is going up with that. Obviously, Sony's a big part in
Yeah.
pretty much everything now. I feel like Sony's in pretty much everything.
Yeah, I think half of our equipment is Sony that we're using right here. Exactly. So Premier Electronics producer and distributor, with a premier automaker and distributor and loyal brand. Wow, I can't wait to see what this is going to look like.
I feel like everyone was like, well, it doesn't have the Bose system, right? Like that's always been the
Yep.
thing for the longest time, because all of the luxury vehicles had Bose.
Sure.
And now Sony's coming out. Sony's been a major player in the game for a while now, and everyone's like, all right, what's Sony going to do? How are they going to do? Are they going to do good? Are they going to,
Well, I'm excited to see.
I can't wait to see.
Yeah. So as we're taping this, as we're recording this, we haven't seen either.
No,
So we're gonna
I've seen
tune in after. We're gonna jump right off of this and make sure that we see.
that
Oh,
thing looks gnarly.
yeah, we have screens. Off of this screen, we have screens facing to us. Wow,
Thank you to the producers in the
that's
background.
that's right. Really neat vehicle.
Woo!
It's amazing what a search will do.
Possible starting at 90 grand.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, no big
The
deal.
price of 3 Civics, maybe more. But hey, there's going to be a lot of technology in anything that
So what
comes out
happened to
first.
Acura on this one?
That's right. That's right.
Well, if you're anywhere else in the world, Honda is there's no such thing as Acura. It's just Honda anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, Honda has some other great news coming as I'm looking at the Motor Trend news for
Yes,
2026.
everyone's excited, and I will say I have seen, not in person, I've seen the photos of this, the Honda Prelude.
Do you remember? We actually have a couple preludes out in the parking lot from folks and what they're employees, right? I think.
Employees that have turned them into drift cars.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. That's one way to go.
I've seen
But
them in action.
that's right. And we see some that are stock that come through service department.
Definitely see some that come through for service.
Yeah. So the
I feel like
two-door.
it's just a given. If you're a technician, you buy one of their cars.
Right. And if you have a Honda technician, especially Honda Master technicians that are looking for these vehicles, then there's got to be something to it.
There's a
So I can't wait to see what the response is. The Honda confirms that 2026 model year, the Prelude is coming to the U.S. So we don't have I don't have any details on exact timing, but that's something to behold.
I believe towards Q4. I think that's what I heard.
Okay.
Q4.
It'll be Q4 of 2025, so certainly it'll be a 2026 model year. We're looking for those pre-specs ahead of time. I anticipate there will be some out kind of in the market, at least in the dealer market, so people can see them. I mean, it's been years and years since there was one in the showroom, 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a big deal.
You know what I want them to bring back?
What's that?
And everyone's gonna be like, the Honda Element.
Okay.
Real talk
It's
though, that
Perfect aerodynamic vehicle for the future.
bro, the Honda Element I think was ahead of its time. I love it.
You might be right.
No, I don't.
Well,
Dude, the rubber floor mats. It was the most epic outdoor vehicle.
Well, a lot of people agree with you.
So I really want the Aztec.
That's right.
No,
Right.
I
We
don't
did.
want the Aztec back. Although I did want an Aztec. I will say I did want an Aztec. So I also like the FJ Cruiser. So that's kind of where my mind is when I guess. But I wish they would bring the Element back.
I think a lot of people agree with you. We service a lot more Elements every day than we do Preludes. So there seems to be a lot more of a market
It's
for a
definitely
new
cult
Element.
car. I will give you that. If you're in the comments, it definitely is a cold car. However, the seats that fold backwards and flip up into the side, come on,
Well,
next level.
that's right. That's right.
It's
Please.
almost like Stow and Go.
Well, I want to know if anybody who's watching has owned one or currently owns one.
We have our director of trades to ops. She has two of them.
That's right.
And whenever one comes in, she trades out if it's better.
And it happens sometimes, right?
Yeah.
If you don't
Like,
need it
dude,
anymore, or
I'm
you're done
telling
with
you,
your
I'm
fun era.
telling you, Honda, you need to come back out with the Element. Everyone will love you. Except for the two that are apparently behind the camera. All right,
Right.
so that is the next one. That's the next one too. I do think that they should bring back the S2000.
Ooh, the S2000 has a very loyal following of all generations. We talk about different generations of all generations, right? From boomers to X to millennials, everybody.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like an S2000
Everyone loves
convertible?
The S2000, and then the other one that I could care less. It would be the Cross Tour.
Okay,
I don't
Cross
really care
Tour.
about the Cross Tour.
Yeah, well, we have kind of our family there in the Acura stores that have that all-wheel drive capability that the Cross Tour was famous for.
Okay.
So maybe the Integra is the new Cross Tour.
Okay,
So
but
we'll give them that. But that
I mean,
I think that would make it easier for them to bring it back,
It
wouldn't it?
definitely makes it
Like if
easier.
that's already on an assembly line, why not bring it
why
back?
was it- I mean, but I don't want that one. I'm sorry.
And I'll add a couple more. We want to add the Fit, right? The Honda Fit. That's
Everyone loved the Fit.
everybody who
I
doesn't
don't-
love a Fit.
I don't like. That's another one that I don't know. It wasn't like a cult car per se, but everyone loved it.
Doesn't get any better than that. We need to make sure that we have some people who make these decisions at Honda watching Mohawk Table Talk, so they see what the reaction are from the two of us and
everyone
our audience. So
We'll
so
get
those.
it out there. Please share this, like this. Make sure that everyone from Honda Corp
There's a couple things that we know for fact instead of dreaming about what might come back. Are the Honda Prologue, the
Honda
EV.
Prologue is
We've
here.
talked about it for whole time we've been on Mohawk
Yep.
Table Talk.
Yep.
The Honda Prologue is here. It's a super success, along with the EVs that Chevrolet, the Blazer, the Silverado, and still a lot of talk about the Chevy Bolt.
Equinox.
Yeah,
and-
Equinox.
And yeah.
So
Look like the Bolt. Honestly, the other cold car that people want to bring back, Chevy Volt.
okay,
Plug-in hybrid.
the Volt with a V, not the
Yeah.
Bolt with a
I
B.
will say, when I first started, when we first got the franchise 5 years ago,
Mhm.
I I was like, "What's the difference?" And they're like, "How dare you? How dare you? It's the Bolt and the Volt with a V."
That's right.
Well, when you say them fast, I don't know which one you're talking about at the moment. So
If
now I do. Bring the Bolt back.
That's right. We couldn't go one episode without talking about EVs. I mean, EVs are here to stay. Just before we went on, Nate said, "Geez, do you think these EVs?" All right, he knows the answer, but we have people ask us all the time, "Do you think these EVs are here to stay?" Well, they're not only here to stay. The market share has increased. We saw something that we didn't think we'd see, and who knows how long. If you read the news, as I'm looking at MSN report from last year, Tesla recorded its first decline in sales in 2024.
Which means
But
players are coming to the market.
that's right, exactly. The market has grown. Tesla saw a little bit of a decline. Certainly, no shot to them about their quality or their vehicles. All that means is there's more competition. Everybody's in the EV game.
I know. Now it's no longer the solo.
You have
solo
choices, right?
Muskinator out there.
Yeah, it's not a monopoly. It's this. You have choices.
It's the 12 Musketeers. Sorry.
there there are that's right, there are a lot, and now there are a lot of overseas, there are a lot of European brands that haven't even made its way to the US yet.
They're trying to make it.
That's right, they're trying to make it.
I don't know if I could handle more than what we have now. Like, there's gonna be a point in time. There's like gonna be 30 different makes that we're gonna be like,
Okay, yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'd love to hear some feedback on that. One thing that we know, and maybe I'm a little biased, but the Honda makes a great product. That Prologue has just absolutely taken off, and if you haven't looked at it, we encourage you to look at it. Check it out on our website. But that's a real thing. They're here. They're on the lot. They're ready to test drive. So as we look forward to 2025, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, we certainly anticipate an increase in EV sales. That market penetration from a potential 17 million new cars sold next year, almost 10%, 9 to 10% being EVs. That's a huge number. And for anybody who was doubting whether EVs are here to stay, I mean, they're not only here to stay, they're consideration at minimum in 1 out of every 10 buyers. Right? So
which is
it's
great. To be honest, like, I love it, the fact that there's more opportunities, right? Like, you have the EV, and when you get the EV, pretty much a lot of the creature comforts come standard, right? It's just like, you have an EV, why not throw in heated seats and all of that? Like,
yeah.
pretty much those are all given. When I first started, like, you had to get an EXL for heated seats. Then they came out with cloth heated seats. Like,
Yeah, it's a good point.
that's a real thing.
That's a
right?
good point.
And now everything comes with Apple CarPlay, which gives you navigation and everything that's on your phone. Before, you had to buy a touring model.
That's right.
You had to buy a touring model to get any type of navigation. Then you had just your phone. That was that small little screen or you just held it in your hand trying to, drive like that, but
Yeah.
now it's up on the screen.
Not safe.
Not safe. Not recommended. I'm just saying that's what people did. Wasn't me.
And Honda, I can only speak for Honda, but Honda believes that not just safety should be standard, right? There shouldn't be a price tag on whether if you and your family are safe, but also, especially with the EVs, technology. Technology is now standard. So your connectivity with your smart device or anything is right there. Check out the Prologue. I'm excited to see what all these new models, whether they're BEVs or partial EVs. I can't wait to see what 2025 brings.
And I mean, like we said, EVs aren't going anywhere. They can only get better. And Honda actually announced that they're working on the progress of a brand new solid state battery. Their plan is by 2030, so 5 years, they plan to have a battery that can go 620 miles.
wild. That's what, 3 times
Yeah.
what some EVs are now?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Six.
That's almost
Well,
more than twice. Like
how far could you go?
on
What's
a-
600 miles away? Like, it's got to be the bottom of New Jersey. We're in
Yeah.
upstate New York, so it's got to be what? It's got to be well past Buffalo.
Yeah.
It's got to be into Ohio. Can we make it to Michigan? Can we make it to Chicago?
I don't know. New York City's 160 miles. You
Oh,
drive
that's
back
nothing.
and forth.
Washington D.C.
I mean,
Do
sky's
I
the limit.
do I smell like a test here once this actually comes to fruition?
Oh my
Nate,
God.
Nate and I are in a car and we're gonna, right,
We're gonna bring Jared.
right,
we're gonna bring
Thelma and
Drew,
Louise style.
We're gonna vlog it. We're gonna see how far.
Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio.
We just got that info.
662. That means we would almost make it. Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, Cleveland.
We're coming,
The
Cleveland.
Indians. We'll go to an Indians game and we'll
There we go.
document it. We'll get some of the. We'll get some. Oh no, Guardians.
Guardians.
Guardians. Oh, Freudian slip.
RIP.
Yep. So we'll get some. We'll get some of our Sony equipment, and we'll put it in the car and we'll take a trip. Anyway, that's coming in the future. I can't wait to see it. 600 plus miles for an EV range.
That's gonna. At that point in time, I think people are just gonna go over it. Because right now we would get like 300, 400 maybe in an ICE vehicle, depending
That's right.
on what you have.
If you're even in a hybrid. Yeah, I think it's
Hybrid
probably 300, 350 miles.
Yeah.
So that's an
But
incredible range.
then, once you get to a hybrid, how far could you go? You could probably almost hit 1,000 miles with a solid state battery at that point in time.
Do you know there's going to be somebody to test this out,
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
someone's
there's
gonna-
got to be an influencer that just says, "All right, I'm starting in New York in the harbor, and I'm going to go as far west as I can, and I'm going to document where I stop."
where I stop.
Yeah.
Or then if they come out with a hybrid that has a solid state that provides 1,000 miles. Someone's gonna,
Yeah.
I'm gonna test how far I can go without a single gas, and then they're gonna end up on the side of the highway having to call, but they're gonna have their odometers like 1,002. We did it. They're just coasting on fumes down the hill.
Well, we'll see. With the other news, Nate talked about the announcement from the collaboration between Honda and Sony. There's also a real thing that's happening
Yep.
with the merger, at
Yep.
least in conversation between Honda and Nissan. And I'm sure everybody's heard about that. That's a huge deal. It's almost like the Celtics and the Lakers forming one team, right? I mean, it's like Honda and Nissan. Now, as I'm looking at Auto Week publication, which has some of the up-to-date info, so far what's happened is there's been an agreement in principle to talk about what the future may bring for a collaborative effort. Right, and that effort could include certainly vehicles. So the production of vehicles. It could include a lending, which would mean like Honda Financial, Nissan Financial, and a lot of logistics, and certainly could produce, some changes in what we have as far as vehicles offered.
Vehicle availability too.
Yeah.
We're gonna have extra resources for vehicle manufacturing here in the U.S. or wherever they have them, and I think you'll be able to give us more of a product out.
For sure. And what we know for sure is that looking, at least in the U.S. part, is that there's a lot of North American production that happens right now with both of those brands, both of those companies, and that will only strengthen our economy as far as what the volume and capacity is here in the States. So that's certainly a positive thing. If I have nothing but optimism about it. If anybody thinks otherwise, I can tell you that time-wise, we're not looking to see any of this effect until at least mid to late 2026. So we're a good 18 to 24 to 30 months away.
Don't fear.
Yeah, don't fear it.
The
Don't.
merger is not that near.
That's exactly. It's not. You're not going to see differences on the dealership lot next week or next month or anything like that. So, but we'll be sure every week to keep you updated with any news that comes down the pipeline. So
Well, we
those.
did say the Prelude is actually a hybrid.
That's right.
It's not an EV or ICE.
So you can be stylish and get good fuel economy. Imagine that.
Say less.
So that kind of puts a wrap on what we see as an outlook for 2025. There's a lot of things coming down the pipe. Just to jump back to the Mohawk Auto Group real quick, we also last week Jeff had mentioned that there may be an expansion in service coming. That's right. And we don't have all the details yet, but that's a super positive thing if you're watching and you're a Mohawk Honda customer and you service your vehicles, which most people do frequently. With this expansion in service, we're talking about physical expansion. That'll be a really good thing. It will actually increase our capacity for express service, which would be those oil changes or those quick in and out type of scenarios. So we look forward to what that brings us in 2025 with improved customer service.
Yeah, so some of the things I do know that we are offering is fabric repair in the vehicles,
Mhm.
inside the vehicles. So with the tear and things like that, we can
Yep.
fix that in there.
It happens.
We're currently working on a vehicle that, stay tuned if you're not following us yet on social media across all platforms, Mohawk Honda, Mohawk Chevrolet, see what's going on. We are going to be showcasing a vehicle that is actually coming in for a really brief service. And we'll show you the process, how clean we can get your vehicle to say, look, this looks great. But we have an individual that's trained now in paintless dent removal.
Mhm.
So he's been working on that, and we used to have to source that out. So now we don't have to wait for the vendor to come. Now we can do it in-house at the moment. So
All for the convenience
all for the
and
convenience.
efficiency. So when you bring your vehicle in, things happen, right? You get those dings, and that paintless dent removal would be specific to like those door dings, those pesky things that happen. And what happened here? I was just in the price chopper for 10 minutes, and I come out and there's a ding on my car. Or I know I've done it. You have a pen or something in your pocket, and you sit in your seat. Oh, now I have a little rip in my seat. Oh, so those are things now that Mohawk Honda can be that one stop to get all of your vehicle needs handled instead of having to make separate appointments at different places,
Right.
which is super inconvenient. So we want to make it more convenient.
Yeah. So make it your New Year's resolution to one, maintain your vehicle properly, whether you go to our Mohawk Chevy store, Mohawk Honda store. Mohawk Chevrolet is actually adding 6 new lifts
Oh,
for our customers with the in and out repairing in.
that's a lot more vehicles that can be handled.
So
And
I
if
believe that will put us at over 30 lifts actually.
wow, wow, and a lot of them, as I know, are heavy duty.
Yes.
So for any commercial customers, or even if you're just a small business owner, or even if the business is just you and you have a truck or a landscaping or something, and you need service, can handle all makes and models at the Chevrolet store, including heavy duty lifts. Also, if you do need that vehicle lettered, right? If you
Yep.
need it lettered or wrapped or whatever, we have some technical changing over here. We have Wrap Kings.
Yes.
Wrap Kings is happy to assist with all your needs.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that would conclude everything that we got going on. That was a lot. A lot of
Ooh,
stuff going on.
we touched a lot.
We talked about EVs. We talked about the projections. We talked about 2024, what happened there. And there's only one thing to do, Mike. See them next year, next week, next year. Next
We're already
week.
next year.
Oh my gosh, we're already. I missed that. I missed that. That dad joke. See you next year. It's okay.
All right, we're ready.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching Mohawk Table Talk. We'll catch you next week. Again, if you are watching the replay, thank you so much. If you're just hopping on, or if you are on Spotify, make sure that you subscribe, follow us, and share this with all of your friends and family. Till next Tuesday, we'll see you then.